I want to start today with a feeling I think everyone listening has had at least once. You're standing outside at night looking up at the stars, and you suddenly feel um, just incredibly small.
Oh yeah, the cosmic insignificance feeling.
Exactly. You feel like a speck of dust on a rock orbiting an average star in the middle of nowhere.
It's the standard narrative, right? We're not the center of anything. We're just, accidents of biology clinging to a wet planet.
Right. But what if that feeling is wrong? I mean, not just emotionally wrong, but structurally wrong.
Uh-huh.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a text that takes that whole narrative and basically throws it out the airlock. It's called The Macro-Neural Model of Cosmic Topology.
And it is a dense but fascinating read. It's essentially trying to weld hard astrophysics things like the curvature of space-time directly to these high concept ideas about consciousness.
The core premise is, on the surface, absolute madness.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you read, the more it starts to make this eerie kind of sense.
It really does.
It argues the universe isn't a place we live in. It's a biological entity we are part of. Specifically, that the universe is a massive, functioning brain.
And we aren't just, bacteria living on this brain. The text is very specific. It calls human beings cosmic probes.
Cosmic probes.
Yeah, it argues we are the actual mechanism by which this massive entity feels and thinks and processes information. We are the nervous system of space itself.
So our mission today is to unpack this. We need to look at the hard science claims, like why the universe looks flat if it's actually a brain, then the plumbing, the black holes, and finally, the why. Why are we even here?
It's ambitious, but what I appreciate about this source is that it really tries to solve actual cosmological problems. It doesn't just say, we are star stuff to make you feel good. It uses the biological model to explain specific anomalies in modern physics.
Okay, so let's start there. With the biggest anomaly, it tries to address the shape of the universe.
Yeah.
Because if you ask a standard cosmologist today, what shape is the universe? What's the answer?
The consensus, based largely on data from the cosmic microwave background, the CMB, is that the universe is flat.
And we need to be really clear here. When astrophysicists say flat, they don't mean two-dimensional, like a piece of paper.
No, not at all. In cosmology, flat refers to Euclidean geometry. It's all about how light travels. If you shoot two parallel laser beams into space, in a flat universe, they stay parallel forever. They never cross, they never spread apart.
Whereas if the universe were a sphere, like a big globe,
they'd eventually meet. And if it were saddle-shaped, they'd peel apart. Our best measurements, looking at the CMB radiation, show that. Well, the math says it's flat, zero curvature.
Okay, so the textbook says flat, but the macro-neural model says, hold on, that's an illusion.
It calls it an error of scale. The text has this concept I found really helpful called the quark limit.
The quark limit.
Yeah, it asks you to imagine a subatomic particle, a quark living on the surface of a proton.
Proton is tiny to us, but to a quark, it's a whole world.
It's a vast, limitless terrain. Now, does that quark have any way of knowing it's sitting on a sphere?
No. Its horizon is too close. The curve is way too gradual for it to notice.
Exactly. And the text is arguing that we are the quarks. It says our instruments, even something amazing like the James Webb Telescope, are just too localized to detect the cosmic curve. We're measuring a tiny patch of a sphere, a geodesic horizon, that is so massive, the arc looks like a straight line to us.
It's like standing on the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Yeah.
It looks perfectly flat as far as your eye can see, but if you zoomed out to, I don't know, the moon, you'd clearly see the curve of the Earth.
Precisely. But the text goes a step further. It doesn't just say it's big. It offers a mechanical reason for why it appears so aggressively flat.
And this is the inflationary yank. I loved this part. The imagery is so visceral.
It is. Usually we think of cosmic expansion as, a balloon gently blowing up. This describes something much more violent. It frames the universe as a cosmic web of dark matter filaments. Think of a nervous system or a huge network of fibers holding everything together.
Okay.
The text argues that during that first split second after the Big Bang, these fibers were pulled under immense cosmic tension.
They use the analogy of a crumpled sheet of paper.
Yes, exactly. Picture a crumpled ball of paper. That's the early, messy universe. Now imagine grabbing the corners and just
yank it taut.
You yank it taut. You generate so much tension that you literally iron out the wrinkles.
So the flatness we see isn't an absence of shape.
No, it is a state of maximum structural tension. The universe is a drum skin pulled tight.
Which completely changes how you think about space. It's not an empty void. It's a fabric under stress.
And that stress is absolutely crucial because if the universe is a brain, it needs to transmit signals. You can't send a signal through a slack line, you need tension. The flatness is an engineering requirement for the universe to think.
Okay, so if we accept this premise for a minute, and it's a big if, that the universe is a biological structure held in tension, then it must have internal systems, right? A brain needs blood flow, metabolism.
Correct. It can't be a static object, it needs flow. And this is where the text completely rethinks our understanding of black holes.
The monsters of the cosmos.
The monsters, yeah. We see them as entropy sinks. Things fall in, they get crushed, information is lost forever. They're the garbage disposals of the galaxy.
But this model calls that the terminal fallacy.
It does. Because in a living system, a closed circuit, nothing is ever just thrown away. It has to go somewhere.
So what are they then?
They're intake valves. The text proposes a law of displacement. Matter and information get sucked in, compressed, and then, and this is the wild part, shunted through a wormhole bridge to a white hole.
A white hole. The theoretical opposite of a black hole.
Yes, it's a valid solution in Einstein's field equations. We just haven't ever seen one. Instead of a region where nothing can escape, it's a region where matter is only ejected.
So it's spitting things out.
It's a heartbeat, a cosmic heartbeat. Contraction into the black hole, expansion out of the white hole.
And the dark matter filaments.
Yeah.
They're the veins carrying all this information.
They are the veins. It's a system that ensures experiences gathered by matter are never lost. They're just recirculated through the cosmic mind.
I have to play devil's advocate, though. We have never observed a white hole. There's no geyser of energy just spewing stuff out into space that we found.
We haven't, no. And the text actually anticipates this. It suggests the white hole, the ejection point, might not be in our local observable universe, or, and this is even more mind-bending, it might be ejecting into a different density of reality.
Density of reality.
Okay, that phrase feels like the bridge to the next part. Because up until now, we've been talking about physics, gravity, light.
Yeah.
But now we're shifting into what feels like pure metaphysics.
It is. We're moving from the hardware of the brain to the software.
We have to talk about the plenum.
Or white space, as it sometimes calls it. I struggled with this at first. It's described as the source code of the universe. But it uses the term maximum density. And usually in physics, maximum density means a singularity, a black hole. It's heavy, crushing. It seems like the opposite.
It is. It's using density to mean informational density, connectivity. Imagine a state where every single point is connected to every other point, instantly.
There's no distance, no time.
None. Everything just exists in a simultaneous now. That's the plenum. It's a state of absolute light, absolute knowledge.
So in plenum, you're everywhere at once.
Essentially, there's no here or there. There's no before or after. It's just being. Total perfection.
And then the text says something pretty dark. It says that leaving this white space, this perfection, and coming here to physical reality, it calls it a descent.
A descent into low-density matter.
And it doesn't mince words. It calls physical reality a prison or even hell.
It's a stark way to put it. But think about it from the perspective of consciousness. In the plenum, you are instant. You are everywhere. The second you enter a biological body, the molecule, as the text calls it, you are suddenly subject to limits.
Gravity.
Gravity holds you down. You're heavy.
The speed of light.
The speed of light is your new speed limit, which sounds fast to us, but on a cosmic scale, it's a crawl. It's a latency problem. You are suddenly slow and separated. Compared to the total freedom of the plenum, yeah, being a human on Earth probably does feel like a prison cell.
Wow. The text says that feeling of flying or the tunnel of light in near-death experiences
is actually consciousness decoupling from the body.
Right.
The gravitational chains snap and you
Yeah.
just rush back toward that state of maximum density. You return to the source code.
Which brings up the biggest question of all, and I think this is the question for anyone listening. If the white space is so perfect, pure light and knowledge, why leave? Why would any consciousness choose to come to this heavy, slow, painful hell?
That is the core existential question of the whole text. Why does the system include suffering? And the answer it gives is basically one word: contrast.
Contrast.
The text argues that the white space, in all its perfection, lacks something crucial. It lacks the friction required for experience.
Because if everything is perfect, nothing is happening.
Precisely. If you are everything, you can't experience anything specific. You can't feel the warmth of the sun if you are the sun. Perfection is static. It has no new data.
So we are, what do we call us again?
Cosmic probes.
Right. cosmic probes.
We are fragments of that perfect light that have voluntarily contracted into biological form. We are the fingers of the universe, reaching down into the mud to see what mud feels like.
That reframes suffering completely. It's not a punishment, it's data collection.
It suggests we are here to provide the universe with sensory feedback. By experiencing pain, limitation, darkness, gravity, we allow that infinite mind to understand the value of its own light.
It's that old idea. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. The universe doesn't know what light really is until it experiences dark.
Exactly. It's a feedback loop. We live, we struggle, we learn, and that information is the contrast the universe needs to understand itself. Without us, the cosmic probe struggling against entropy, the macroneural entity is effectively brain dead.
It's a mind floating in a void with nothing to think about.
No stimulation.
It's a terrifying, but also validating thought. Your bad day isn't just bad luck. It's valuable contrast for the cosmic mind.
It validates the entire spectrum of human experience. The joy is data, sure, but the pain is also data. And maybe it's even more potent data because it offers the sharpest contrast to the plenum's peace.
Okay, let's try to tie this all together because we've covered a lot of ground, or a lot of space.
Let's connect the dots.
We start with a universe that looks flat, not because it is, but because we're like tiny corks on a massive sphere that's been pulled taut by the Big Bang.
Right. A structural web under tension.
Then you have this circulatory system. Black and white holes are recycling information so nothing is ever lost, keeping the whole brain functioning.
The metabolic system.
And finally, there's us, the cosmic probes, dropping down from the perfection of the plenum into this heavy, gravity-filled reality to gather data, to feel the friction.
And that leads to the source's summary statement, which I think is the most powerful line in the whole text. We are not accidents occurring within space.
We're the nervous system of space itself.
We are the nervous system. We aren't just living in the house or the nerves in the walls. We are the mechanism by which the universe wakes up.
It really dissolves that feeling of loneliness, doesn't it? That you're just a tiny speck on a rock.
Okay.
According to this, you are essential infrastructure.
You are necessary. Your experience, even the bad days, maybe especially the bad days, is valid data that the universe requires to exist.
I want to leave our listener with one final thought from the text, something that really, it gave you goosebumps. It's about intuition.
Ah, yes. The forbidden knowledge.
Right. The text talks about those moments where you just know something. You can't explain why, there's no logic for it, but you have this flash of insight.
We usually just write that off as, imagination, a lucky guess. But the macroneural model offers a different explanation. It suggests that intuition is actually memory.
Memory of what?
Memory of the fibers of the network we were part of before we were spit into this local density. That flash of insight is you briefly remembering the source code.
Remembering the plenum where you knew everything.
Yeah. So when you have that gut feeling, it's not magic. It's just you remembering who you really are and where you came from.
It's a signal from the white space coming through the probe.
A ping from the server.
That is a lot to process.
Yeah.
But in the best way possible.
It certainly changes how you look at the stars tonight.
And how you look at yourself. You're not just a person. You're a probe on a mission. Thank you all for taking this trip to the geodesic horizon with us. It's been a wild one.
Always a pleasure to explore the contrast.
We'll see you on the next deep dive. Keep probing.